Texturing is one of the most important parts in 3D rendering. Today we're gonna do a deep dive to texture your 3D model with Substance Painter. Before the video starts, I want to talk about Lazytextures. Lazytextures is a website where you can download models or assets like materials or HDRIs and use this for free and CC0 for your projects. Check it out, the link is in the description. Substance Painter was created in March 2014 by a company that is called Algorithmic. In 2019, Adobe tries to get more into 3D space and into the 3D industry, so they bought this company. It's crazy that a part of the deal is that you can still get a perpetual license on Steam that costs $200 and you get updates until March 2026. So I think it's a better option to get this software with a perpetual license because I don't want to pay $60 a month for this type of software. And you also get updates, but I think it's not that much, so I think you got updates like 3 months after you purchase this license. Enough talking about Substance Painter, I want to talk about 3D texturing in general a little bit. So what is 3D texturing? 3D texturing is basically texturing a 3D model that have polygons and points. For this operation you need a UV texture. UV texture is basically a 2D image that has 2 coordinates, U and V. U stands for the horizontal representation and V for the vertical representation. For the representation of a 3D model with X, Y and Z axis, you need to unwrap your UV. Unwrapping is basically like you unfold the box. So you get a 2D image of this box that is unwrapped and unfolded. Then you place the texture on this unfolded box and folded it again together. For this process you need to set up seams. Seams are these places where this box get unfolded. Okay, now talk about materials. I don't want to deep dive into this topic obviously because it's a big topic where I can't speak about this to make a smaller video about Substance Painter and texture painting. But there are a few fundamentals to address. A material that you place on your object is based on textures for different channels. For these textures you can use float or color maps. A float texture is basically a 0 to 1 value that you place on your image. It's also called grayscale value. So the texture is dark or bright. Not an RGB value where we have color in it, it's just a grayscale value from 0 to 1. So we talked about material information, but what does that mean? What type of material information do you need? That is a question that you need to address before, because you need to know what kind of material do you want to do. Do you want to do a metallic material, a specular material, or just a diffuse material without any reflections? Let's use this example. We have this Pokeball that I did in my last video. For this type of surface I need different types of information. I need information about color, metallic, specularity, roughness. In the roughness channel you represent where the surface is less reflecting or is more rough. The base color represents what color is the model on which part of the model. In the metallic channel you set up the metallicness of the model and where is it more metallic or less metallic. We also have imperfections. Imperfections are scratches or fingerprints or something else. For this type of imperfections like scratches you can use normal maps or bump maps to represent this. I give you more information inside of the description about texture channels and texture types, but this is enough about texturing inside of this video. So now we are in Substance Painter. So I will give you a quick overview of the layout. First you need to go to File and go to New. Select your model, that can be a FBX, a Limbic file or OBJ file. Now I choose the PBR metallic roughness preset and go for 4K as a resolution. Then hit OK and now we see the model inside of the 3D viewer. By pressing Ctrl and left click you could rotate to the 3D viewer. With Ctrl and middle click you could move to the 3D viewer and you can zoom with Ctrl and right click. On your left hand you have all your tools. These are tools to paint on your model or modify some masks. On the right side you can see your 2D image or texture of the UV. On the bottom are your asset manager. In this asset manager you find materials and masks that Substance Painter came up with. On your right side you have your layers manager and your properties manager. It's like Photoshop but in 3D. The first thing that you do when you do a new Substance Painter project is baking up your maps. By baking your maps, the program is analyzing your 3D model for curvature and shadows and everything that you can use later for making masks or imperfections based on your 3D geometry. So go to the bottom, go to Texture Settings. Click on Bake Mesh Maps, select 4K and bake the textures. After that you can go back to the viewer. So in the Asset Manager you have a few options. You have materials that Substance Painter is coming up with. You have smart materials that use this data that you baked in and create a material out of it that contains scratches or different variations based on your 3D mesh by using the baked maps that you created. Then you have the masks or smart masks. This type of mask also uses the 3D maps that you already baked, so you can mask out your layers by curvature. After that you have filter. You can use this filter to modify your layers later. Then we have brushes. You can use different brushes to paint on your model. You could also use these brushes to paint on your masks. Then we have textures. You can use the textures to put it in different channels, like roughness, normal or the color map. And the last thing in the asset manager are environments. Environments are 360 images that you can put in your scene to have different light variation. Okay, let's practice. On the left side we click on the polyfill tool. On the right side in the layers, create a new folder and create a black mask. After that you can mask out your polygons by using the polyfill tool. Then I set up some roughness and color information. For this I use some presets and brushes that have fingerprints and scratches in it. For the middle part I set up a metallic material that I got in the smart materials already that come up with Substance Painter. After you are fine with the textures, you can export them. Go to File, Export Textures, select the PBR Metallic Roughness template. For the size you could choose 4K or 8K, and then set up your file path. Then you can import your model and your software of choice. This time I use Blender, so you can create a material, connect all the textures to the different channels, review it, and then you got the final model with the textures ready. So there are many opportunities with this program and this type of workflow. I think it's a key skill for a 3D generalist and a 3D designer to learn this kind of software. I hope you liked this video. I hope I can give you a quick overview of this program. Check out Lazytextures for free materials and assets for your 3D project. You could also use this in Substance Painter. And have a nice day, happy rendering, and goodbye.